guys, it's time to bust another myth. The abortion industry doesn't have racist roots and goals. Our nation is no stranger to divisive debates over which human beings deserve basic human rights. But ultimately, history always sides with those who defend the inalienable rights made plain in the Declaration of Independence: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for all. We've been spectators to unrest in our nation, people who are being awakened and demanding reformation for the systemic racism that has plagued us. We've seen monuments defaced, vandalized, and even torn down, institutions changing their names, and businesses changing their practices. It's been called a cultural revolution of sorts. But let's walk back to 1965, to the beginning of a real cultural revolution that has been a slow fade into the degradation of our society. Lyndon B. Johnson was our president, and he announced the Great Society proposal. He promised to eradicate poverty, which was fully embraced by struggling Black Americans. Poor Black mothers did not object to raising their children alone, since they were encouraged by the government to do so, and they would even receive free government money. This was a major impression made by the government on Black culture. This was a shift in the nuclear family, and this was the beginning of a breakdown. The indoctrination of democratic political rule into Black America convinced an entire demographic of people in believing that the government is for them by convincing them that they are their greatest savior, and by ensuring that they would forever need saving. Margaret Sanger did the same thing with the American Birth Control League, which later became Planned Parenthood. Sanger was credited with organizing and popularizing the modern birth control movement. She even invented the term birth control. But she also embraced the now discredited science of eugenics, which claimed that society would benefit from discouraging the wrong people from reproducing. Her colleague, Lothrop Stoddard, who was an officer in the KKK, was an original board member of Planned Parenthood. In his 1965 report on Black poverty, Daniel Moynihan told a truth that struck fear in racists everywhere. The Black population was growing. The efforts to control the Black population with birth control and Sanger's family planning education through the Negro Project were failing. While she publicly made the case for choice, make no mistake, her sentiments were clear in her writings. Birth control itself, often denounced as a violation of natural law, is nothing more or less than the facilitation of the process of weeding out the unfit, of preventing the birth of defectives or those who will become defectives. These words are from chapter 18 in Sanger's book, Women and the New Race, and they highlight her motivations. These unfit people that Sanger spoke of included immigrants, the impoverished, and Blacks. Abortion is inseparable from America's history with eugenics. It's guilt by association, and it continues today. Planned Parenthood has parked 79% of their abortion-providing clinics within walking distance of Black and Hispanic neighborhoods. The same people who have been defacing and destroying the historic monuments because they believe the racism appropriated still in these institutions that bear their names should be outraged at the number one killer of people of color in America, Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood intentionally targets the Black community with abortion, just as its founder, Margaret Sanger, targeted poor Black women in her day. What Black women need is better health care to improve birth outcomes. The medical community rants on and on about the institutional racism in healthcare, but continues to take aim at Black babies. Dare I say, this is a shunning of responsibility? Is this easier and less expensive than truly caring for people? Many would argue, just as Sanger did, that choice is at the center here, that this is about giving people of color agency over their own bodies. Don't forget, LBJ convinced an entire demographic of people that he was saving them with freedoms, while at the same time ensuring they would forever need saving.